Detroit and Chicago hit with misleading Republican-initiated racist scam robocalls discouraging voting. This was an attempt to suppress the African American community, solidly Democratic, suppress voter turnout in an election. It's not clear how many people in Chicago and Detroit received the misleading scam calls, but mail-in voting will play a larger role than ever from here on in, with an influx of mail ballots because of the ongoing pandemic, which may not be totally under control by the 2022 election. Democratic and Republican officials across the country expanded access to mail-in voting in the last election and said the method was secure and includes extensive paper trails. These are both Democrats and Republicans. But then, President Donald Trump rallied against mail-in voting, falsely saying that it is rigged with widespread fraud. Wait till you hear a robocall I'll be playing to you in a few minutes. You won't believe your ears. Welcome to The Naked Truth, where I share the important notes of the day from newspapers, magazines, social network, radio, and television in the U.S. from my Hispanic point of view that impacts all Americans, not just some. You can view us on the USA Podcast channel, on YouTube, or the USA One podcast on 16 additional podcast sites. I'm Juan Andres, also known as Senor USA. The voice on the robocall says it was sponsored by a group founded by Jack Burkman and Jacob Wohl, two infamous conservative activists who have spent years penetrating hoaxes against Democratic lawmakers and other perceived political opponents of Donald Trump. These two fellers are Trumpers to the hilt, and they'll do anything shady that Trump wants. Let's listen to the robocall, and you determine if you think this Republican scam was appropriate.
This is Tamika Taylor from Project 1599, a civil rights organization founded by Jack Burkman and Jacob Wohl. Mail-in voting sounds great, but did you know that if you vote by mail, your personal information will be part of a public database that will be used by police departments to track down old warrants and be used by credit card companies to collect outstanding debt? The CDC is even pushing to use records for mail-in voting to track people for mandatory vaccines. Don't be finessed into giving your private information to the man. Stay safe and beware of vote by mail.
I feel bad for all these law-abiding, long-term Republicans that have to endure this most uncomfortable period in the history of the Republican Party. Their party has been hijacked, in my opinion, by dishonest politicians, and God only knows how long it's going to take to restore their so hard-fought reputation as a reliable conservative party. It's sad, and we need them. That's what made the United States so great, is having the two-party system. A Michigan official said in a statement that the source of the call was at that time unknown, but she pointed out that the robocall claimed to originate from Burkman and Wohl, whom she called two political operatives with a known reputation for spreading misinformation in an effort to gain notoriety. Wohl denied that he or Burkman were responsible for the misleading and racist calls when interviewed, and said they only learned about them after Burkman started receiving angry messages from people who saw his number on their caller ID. He was surprised. "We've never done any robocalls," Wohl said. "We're categorically uninvolved. We've never done that." And Burkman did not respond to any messages. State election officials are largely on their own when it comes to dealing with false claims about voting processes, including mail-in voting when they're promoted by political operatives or candidates. While there has been some outreach by the Department of Homeland Security in recent months, multiple state officials say that there is no federal guidance in place when it comes to disinformation coming from within the U.S., leaving states to develop to their own protocols. They're on their own. Could you believe that Donald Trump followers and enablers would go this far? And they have the gall to be checking ballots in Arizona for election fraud after they know that they were committing fraud in Detroit? And they want to expand the election ballot checking to other states, trying to catch fraud. This is like, get rid of the police department and let the thieves investigate. Just in time, a Detroit judge declined to dismiss felony charges against the two right-wing political provocateurs, instead appearing to agree with the prosecutors that comments included in a robocall could be seen as menacing and deter someone from voting. Third Circuit Court Judge Margaret Van Houten said the messages orchestrated by Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman, the guys that, I don't know what that, I found out about it when, I don't know. Now they're in court and there's a judge, and if they lie, oh, there's consequences. You can lie to the press, but I don't think it's a good idea to go to court and lie. No, not a good idea. Well, Jack Wohl and Jack Burkman that were distributed, they orchestrated the messages that were distributed throughout Detroit, included language that people considering voting by mail could find threatening. Now, you heard the robocall that I played for you, and you know that it was threatening. It is not whether they succeed in deterring someone from voting. It's whether they attempted to deter someone from voting. Just the attempt is against the law. That is the language in the statute, the judge said. Certainly the robocall itself, the language in the call could influence someone and deter them from voting by mail. In October, Attorney General Dana Nessel charged both men with multiple felonies, accusing them of intentionally trying to dissuade black voters from casting a ballot in the general election. Both men have since been charged in other states, so it just didn't happen in one. And they face civil lawsuits in those states as well, related to the robocalls. But in the meantime, the FCC has stepped in and they have proposed a whopping record $5.1 million fine against the Detroit election robocall purveyors. That's 2.55 million each. They're going to have to go to Mar-a-Lago and ask for loans. Oh my goodness. Ay, ay, ay. Politics has always been crazy. But this is just taking things out of reality. What happened to our party, the Republican Party that we believed in, the party of forget Lincoln, that was a long time ago, even though it was awfully important. What happened to Reagan? What happened to the Bushes? Where are those Republicans? They're probably just so embarrassed, they don't know what to do. You know, to get hit like this, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I feel sorry for them. Anyway, I'm Juan Andres, also known as Senor USA on The Naked Truth. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.